Okay, so I thought I'd do my next video and just tell you a little bit about my routine and what that's become. The first thing is medicines. Never thought I'd be one to have to use a pill box, but I have to. Not only because there's quite a few of them, but because I will forget if I took them or not. And sometimes I question whether I've taken them or not, even though I can see that they're not there or there. The other day, I had to have my brother drive me up to the school to teach my classes. And that's because I went off my medicine. I went off one of them, and it is called duloxetine. And not to be confused with fluoxetine, which is Prozac. This is different. This is duloxetine. And I started having some kind of strange side effects with it. It was, like most medicines do to me, it made me very tired. I was sleeping a lot, and, honestly, a little bit of pain relief is not worth sleeping half the day away. Just sleeping, 12 to 14 hours a day is not my idea of fun. And I got to the point where I was taking a nap every single day. I would sleep and then come home from work, go to sleep some more, get up for a few hours, and then go back to sleep. And I didn't like that, and so I called my doctor and asked to be taken off the medication. And one of the problems that I encountered was when I went off the medication, there were some pretty bad side effects. The side effects going off, and the doctor didn't taper me because I'm already on one of the lowest doses. Medicines affect me to their fullest on me no matter what dose. And so they just had to taper me down one step and then off. So I went off, and as soon as I was off, I was and am still suffering with the effects of kind of blurred vision. Not blurred, but imagine a shutter cam, taking pictures, and that's what it feels like when I turn. It's not so bad now. The other day it was really bad. On Sunday it was my worst day. I had the tracer effects as I was moving. I had the only way I could describe the sound is when you take an Etch-a-Sketch and you shake it. That's what my head felt like every time I moved. That sound was in my head. So it made me kind of dizzy. And on top of that, all the pain in my body seemed to magnify. My feet were hurting so bad that I could barely walk. I couldn't function. It was pretty bad. And one of the other bad side effects was it made me extremely emotional. Now, I'm already an emotional person, but when I got off that medication, I was on the verge of tears at the drop of a hat. If anything emotional whatsoever, and it didn't have to be heavy emotion, just anything emotional would hit me, I would start crying. And it was pretty scary. And so I'm now on my 4th day of being off of that, and I'm doing much better. I have read online that there's a laundry list of effects that affect you when you go off of the medication. They they range from everything that I've just described to a list literally a couple pages long. I guess this medicine has its own name for the withdrawals, and a lot of people are absolutely against this medicine, and I understand why now that I'm off it. If I had known the effects that it was going to have when I went off of it, I would never have gone on it. I would never have agreed to it. And so I had to be careful with that. So once again, it's duloxetine, not fluoxetine. The fluoxetine with an F is your Prozac. The duloxetine is a different medication. Okay? So what I wanted to do tonight was just kind of show you my routine, how I get ready for my night, what I do to sleep, that kind of thing. And I'm also gonna take one of my shots and show you how I do that. And so the first thing is the medications. obviously. So I got my medications here. So I'm going to take those first. So that's the first thing I do. Got a handful of medication. Pop them all at once. The next thing is, while I'm sleeping, I have a big pillow that I put in between my legs, and it does help with, helping to prevent back pains and things like that. But it's also because my feet and my legs are always on fire. They're always burning, which is, again, why I wear shorts and not pants. If I wear pants, anything long, the heat just magnifies and actually makes things worse for me. So what I do is I put that pillow in between my legs and try to keep my legs from touching and to keep my feet from touching. And that's what I use that for. So took my meds, and then the next thing is, since this is a Wednesday, it is time to do a shot. And so I thought I would do the shot for you on this video. So what I do is I get the shot, and then I get a pad. Rubbing alcohol pad. It's just your standard, typical pad. Now, these shots that I take, these are cold when you get them. They have to be kept in the fridge. If they are left out of the fridge, they will spoil, they will be bad. And at the price of these, you don't want them to go bad. So what I have to do is I have to rub the spot. I alternate spots, starting with the leg, stomach, side, back of arm, and then rotate all the way around the body. And they want you to do that to keep from getting building up scar tissue and stuff from the shots. Those of you that give yourself shots, you know what I'm talking about. Same thing with pretty much anything. Today is the left leg, so it won't be too bad. Okay, so lift my leg up here so you can see. So what I do first off is just get the rubbing alcohol and the pads, rub the mark that I'm going to do. I cleanse it up real good. It's kind of cool. It's kind of, it actually feels nice on my leg because it makes my leg colder, which, as I said, my legs are always on fire. They always are. And that's been a real pain. So there we go. And then lid off, so we got the needle. It's a small needle. It's not too big of a deal. Pinch the skin. Insert the needle. Insert the liquid until it's gone. Pull it out, and we're done. So, very simple, very quick process. I do have a needle crimper somewhere where they want you to bust the needle off, but I'm just going to bend this one over. They want you to bust it off so that you don't leave it intact, throw it away or something, and then people use it for, obviously, drug reasons. Okay? So I give myself the shot 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. When I started, I was on the once-a-day shots, and then they moved me to the 3 times a week. I like the 3 times a week tons better. In all the time, though, almost 2 years now that I've been on it, I've missed the time once and had to take it in the morning. But other than that, I've been perfect on it. And so it's kind of cool. And they send you a travel package, so if you go anywhere, like when I went to Texas to visit my friend Jen that you saw in the other video, I was able to take the little pack they send. They send you with a container that keeps them safe, because you obviously don't want them breaking. Okay? Now, as far as going to sleep, so here's the next fun thing. So these are the best melatonins I have found. These are the only effective ones that I've been able to use so far. All the others, I take them, I am down for about 2 hours, and then I'm up and I feel horrid. I've never, used illegal drugs or anything, so I don't know exactly the feeling, but from what's been described, it's like, a hangover or something. It's the feeling afterwards. It's horrible. These ones actually let me sleep throughout the night, and this is the Spring Valley. You get them from Walmart, and they are the chewables, strawberry chewables, 3 milligrams, and those work really well for me, really well. Like I said, they're the only ones that I've found that actually work. So that's the first part of my routine. The next is my machine. Some of you will recognize this as soon as I bring it up. This is a CPAP machine. So the CPAP machine, what it does is it forces air through here and makes it to where I breathe better. Because I went to the sleep apnea to do the sleep study, and that was horrible. They dress you up in this octopus of wires and set you in a very comfortable bed, but wires everywhere and you can't move and spin around like you usually do. And then they tell you to get comfortable and go to sleep. And it's very funny. But while I was there, I set the guy's record. I don't know if it's any record of any of the other people, but for him it was the record. I had 35 events an hour where I was waking up, which means more than once a minute, or more than once every 2 minutes, about a minute and some odd seconds, I would wake up. And it doesn't mean you wake up completely, it just means that your body goes out of the REM stage where it's getting its sleep that it needs. It needs that sleep, and you're coming out of that stage, and it's due to not getting enough oxygen, not getting enough air. And so I would wake up, breathing heavy and trying to get that into me. My oxygen level would dip down to the mid-70s the second I tried to go to sleep. And you're supposed to be at around, they want you above 90, 94, 95 is where you want to be. And I was down in the mid-70s. And so my body was actually oxygen deprived and not being able to get the rest I need. And this has been going on for years. And so what we do is we have this nice little machine. And so you put it on. And so I'm just going to put it on, show you what it looks like. Put it on like this. And when it's on, it blows out air. And so it forces air into your lungs. When I started the machine, it was not much of a difference, but a decent difference. I was able to sleep a little bit more. And then they did the oxygen test on me. With the machine, and they did the test. They sent it home, the device you put on your finger. So again, I had something on my finger that would plug into the machine, and so I had the mask on, thing on my finger, and I was supposed to relax. So got through the night. The next day I went and dropped it off, and within a few hours the doctor called me and said, "We are sending you an oxygen unit today." And so they sent me an oxygen unit that I have to use at night. And that will, that has alleviated my sleep apnea really well. I can get some sleep now. It's kind of nice. What I do, so one thing you also got to remember too, is when you lay down to go to sleep, you notice how your mind races because you're able to think about everything and you can focus on different things. You notice everything more because there's not all this stimuli going on. I was going down the street with my brother and I said, okay, let's just point out all the stimuli that's going on. And I started pointing at every house and naming the colors of the house and the roads and what the lines were doing, what the signs were, and people and the cars passing by. All these things are just in your brain, and it helps you not think about the pain that's going on in your feet. Well, when you lay down, all that stuff stops and you have time to think about and focus on the things that hurt. And for me, that is my feet, and they hurt bad. And they've been hurting really bad for about, well, almost 2 years now. And it's a non-stop pain. It does not stop. It does not let up. It has its good days, which I would describe according to the medical charts to tell you the numbers to go off of, would be about a level 7 pain. And that is just non-stop, 24 hours a day. And then on the bad days, it goes up to an 8 or a 9. And the night before last, it was a definite 9, maybe even close to a 10. It was almost to the point where I could not walk. So what I have to do is I have to occupy my brain at night while I sleep. So what I have is I have a screen, a monitor here facing my bed. Let's see if we can get a look at it. I have a monitor right here. Okay, so I have my monitor. And then I have the Wii U monitor. And what happens is I play a show. I play a movie, show, whatever suits my fancy for the night. And I will play it loud. And, it is pretty loud. And I try to just drown out my senses. And that helps me get to sleep. And so I have the mask on, which is making noise, the oxygen unit, which makes noise, and then I have the show going. I have Futurama on. I love Futurama. That actually helps me get to sleep. And so I have all that going at once, and that's how I get to sleep. So that is my nightly routine. 3 times a week it includes the shot, but every other night it includes all the things that we just talked about. And so, like I said, it's just an informational video showing you, my routine, what I go through. And it is a very difficult thing. Life has changed. The MS has really changed everything for me. And, it's not easy. So, until the next video we're going to do, I'm going to take this over to the gym that I go to where I walk the pool. And I'll show you the routine I go through there. And like I said, won't be much fun for you, but this is therapeutic for me, so keep watching them. Alright, see you later.